Mina lived in a small, crowded town with her mother, Layla. Their home was tiny, with only one bedroom and a small kitchen. The walls were painted in faded yellow, and the floor creaked with every step. Despite the small space and simple life, Mina and her mother shared laughter and love. Layla worked as a maid in a large house on the other side of town. She cleaned rooms, washed clothes, and cooked meals for a rich family. Every morning she would wake up before sunrise, prepare breakfast for Mina, and leave for work. Mina, although only 14, often helped her mother with household chores, swept the floor, washed the dishes, and even ran small errands in the neighborhood. One sunny morning, Mina woke up feeling excited. She had finished her school homework the night before, and for the first time in weeks, she did not have any chores that needed immediate attention. After helping her mother prepare breakfast, she decided to visit the town library. Mina loved reading stories about faraway lands, brave heroes, and magical adventures. The library was a place of wonder for her. The smell of books, the quiet rows of shelves, and the stories waiting on every page always made her feel calm and happy. Mina grabbed a small purse with a few coins she had saved from running errands for her neighbors. She waved goodbye to her mother and walked to the bus stop. The sun was bright, and the streets were busy with people rushing to work, shops opening, and children going to school. As she waited for the bus, she noticed an old lady struggling to carry a large, heavy bag. The woman's hair was white, and her clothes were neatly pressed but old. She tried to balance the bag while reaching into her purse to find money for the bus. Mina watched her for a moment. She knew the old lady would have difficulty carrying the bag all the way to her destination without help. Without thinking twice, Mina stepped forward. "Here, I can help you," she said, smiling softly. The old lady looked at her with tired eyes and shook her head. "Thank you, dear, but I can manage," she said in a weak voice. Mina noticed that the old lady's hands were trembling slightly. She pulled a few coins from her purse and held them out. "You can take this for the bus fare," she said. "It's okay, I want to help." The old lady's eyes widened in surprise. She looked at the young girl carefully and then back at the coins. "Are you sure, child?" she asked. Mina nodded quickly. "Yes, ma'am. It's just a few coins. Please don't worry." The old lady smiled softly, touched by the girl's kindness. "Thank you, dear. You are very thoughtful." Mina waved goodbye and ran onto the bus, feeling light-hearted. She found a seat by the window and sat down, watching the town pass by. Children played in the streets, shopkeepers arranged colorful fruits and vegetables, and the smell of fresh bread drifted from the bakery nearby. Mina loved moments like this when she could just sit quietly and observe life around her. Meanwhile, the old lady, whose name was Mrs. Anara, sat down with Mina's coins in her hand. She looked at the girl who had helped her, and a small smile appeared on her face. Mrs. Anara was not an ordinary woman. She was one of the richest women in the country, a billionaire who owned many companies, hotels, and businesses. Despite her wealth, she rarely showed it. She had learned that wealth alone could not bring happiness. She often traveled alone in public, testing how people behaved when they did not know who she was. Mrs. Anara was impressed by Mina. Most people would have ignored her or expected a reward for helping, but Mina had given her help freely, without expecting anything in return. The old lady could feel the purity of the girl's heart. She decided she wanted to know more about Mina, but she did not want to frighten her with her wealth. For now, she simply enjoyed the kindness she had received. The bus moved slowly through the busy streets. Mina watched as children waved at the bus, and street vendors called out their offers loudly. She thought about the books she wanted to read at the library. Her imagination wandered to stories of princesses, explorers, and animals that could talk. She smiled to herself, forgetting the worries of her small home for a while. The bus came to a stop near a small park. Mina saw children running around, their laughter filling the air. She wished she could play with them, but she remembered that she had to visit the library first. She grabbed her bag, adjusted her hair, and got ready to leave the bus. Mrs. Anara noticed Mina standing up and holding onto the railing. She felt a strange warmth in her heart, something she had not felt in a long time. She wanted to follow the girl, to see where she lived and learn more about her life, but she decided it was too soon. For now, she would wait and observe. Mina stepped off the bus and waved goodbye to the old lady. She did not know that her small act of kindness had already made a big impression on someone who had the power to change lives. Mina walked briskly toward the library, her mind filled with thoughts of books and stories that, as she entered the library, the cool air and quiet atmosphere welcomed her. Mina loved the smell of old pages and the sight of tall shelves filled with books. She walked carefully between the aisles, looking for her favorite section, which was full of adventure stories. She pulled out a few books and sat by the window, opening the first one carefully. The story told of a young hero who had to travel across dangerous lands to find a hidden treasure. Mina read with excitement, imagining herself in the hero's place, facing challenges with courage and determination. That hours passed quickly as Mina read, completely lost in the world of the story. She did not notice the time until the librarian called out, reminding visitors that the library would close soon. Mina quickly returned the books she had borrowed and stepped outside, feeling happy and relaxed. As she walked back toward the bus stop, she thought about the old lady she had helped earlier. Mina wondered if the woman had reached her destination safely. She smiled, thinking that helping someone, even in a small way, felt good. She did not know that Mrs. Anara had already remembered her act and was quietly thinking about how special Mina was. The sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. Mina hurried home, excited to tell her mother about the books she had read. Layla was preparing dinner when Mina returned, and she listened with a smile as her daughter shared stories about the heroes she had read about that night. Mina went to bed with a warm feeling in her heart. She thought about the day and realized that helping someone could make both the giver and receiver happy. She did not know that her simple act of kindness on the bus would soon lead to something extraordinary in her life. Little did Mina know that the old lady she had helped was not just anyone. Mrs. Anara had already made plans to meet her properly. She wanted to reward Mina's kind heart, but in a way that would not scare her or make her feel uncomfortable. Mina's life, which had always been simple and modest, was about to take a turn that she could never imagine. For now, Mina only knew that she felt happy for helping someone. She closed her eyes and drifted into sleep, dreaming of books, adventures, and the joy of doing good for others. And in another part of the city, Mrs. Anara smiled as she remembered the young girl's kind gesture, knowing that the world still had good hearts like Mina's. The next morning, Mina woke up earlier than usual. She had dreams filled with adventures from the books she had read yesterday. Her mother, Layla, was already in the kitchen preparing breakfast. The smell of warm bread and fresh tea filled the small room. Mina washed her face and joined her mother, chatting happily about the news story she wanted to read. After breakfast, Mina got ready for school. She carefully packed her bag with books and notebooks. As she stepped outside, she waved goodbye to her mother and walked toward the bus stop. The streets were lively, full of people starting their day. Street vendors called out their goods. Children ran to school, and the morning sun cast golden light on the rooftops. While waiting at the bus stop, Mina thought about yesterday's events. She remembered the old lady she had helped. Mina had not thought much about it at the time. She did not expect a thank you or any special attention. Helping someone had simply felt like the right thing to do. She smiled at the memory, feeling a small warmth in her heart. Meanwhile, across the city, Mrs. Anara was already awake. She lived in a large, elegant home on top of a hill. The house had tall windows, marble floors, and gardens filled with colorful flowers. Despite all the luxury, Mrs. Anara preferred simple mornings. She drank her tea by the window looking out over the city. She thought about Mina, the young girl who had helped her without knowing who she was. Mrs. Anara had seen many people in her life. Most acted kind only when they expected something in return. But Mina had given her help freely. She did not hesitate. She had offered her coins simply to help someone in need. That small act had touched Mrs. Anara deeply. She realized that Mina had a rare quality, a kind heart that was genuine and pure. The billionaire decided that she wanted to meet Mina again, but she knew she had to be careful. Mina's life was simple, and she did not want to frighten the young girl with her wealth or influence. She thought about the best way to approach Mina and her family without making them uncomfortable. Back in her small home, Mina finished school and returned home in the afternoon. Her mother asked her how the day went, and Mina shared stories about her lessons and her friends. Layla noticed that Mina seemed more thoughtful than usual. "Are you thinking about something, Mina?" she asked gently. Mina nodded. "I was thinking about the old lady I helped on the bus yesterday. I hope she reached safely." Layla smiled. "Helping someone is always good, my dear. Even if they never say thank you, it matters. You did the right thing." Mina felt proud of herself. She did not know that her small act had already reached someone very important. A few days later, Layla received a letter delivered by a well-dressed messenger. She was surprised to see the envelope, which had elegant handwriting and a gold seal. She opened it carefully and began to read. The letter was from Mrs. Anara herself. It said, "Dear Layla, I hope this letter finds you well. I would like to meet your daughter Mina. I've observed her kindness and honesty and wish to get to know her better. Please bring her to my office tomorrow at 11 a.m. No need to worry. I only wish to speak to her in a friendly manner. Sincerely, Anara." Layla's eyes widened. She was shocked and nervous at the same time. "Mina, this letter. It's from someone named Mrs. Anara. She wants to meet you," she said, holding the letter carefully. Mina took the letter and read it. She could hardly believe what she was seeing. "Meet me why?" she asked, puzzled. Layla shook her head. "I don't know, Mina, but she says she wants to meet you because of your kindness." Mina's mind raced. She remembered the bus ride and the coins she had given to the old lady. Could this really be the same woman? Could someone actually want to meet her because of a small act of kindness? Mina felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. She had never been to such a fancy place before. The next morning, Mina and her mother prepared carefully. Layla chose a simple but neat dress for Mina, while Mina brushed her hair and tried to look presentable. They walked together to the city center, where Mrs. Anara's office was located. The building was tall and beautiful, with polished glass doors and shiny floors. Mina felt nervous as they entered, unsure what to expect. A friendly assistant greeted them and led them to Mrs. Anara's office. When Mina stepped inside, she was amazed. The room was large, with tall windows that let in sunlight. Shelves filled with books lined the walls, and the furniture was elegant but comfortable. Mina felt a little out of place but tried to stay calm. Mrs. Anara was sitting behind a large wooden desk. She was dressed simply, but her presence was strong and kind. She smiled warmly when she saw Mina. "Hello, Mina," she said gently. "It's very nice to meet you." Mina curtsied politely. "Hello, ma'am. I'm happy to meet you too." Mrs. Anora's eyes twinkled. "I want to tell you something important. Do you remember me from the bus?" Mina nodded slowly. "Yes, ma'am. You were carrying a heavy bag, and I helped you with the bus fare." Mrs. Anara leaned forward slightly. "Exactly. That small act of kindness meant a lot to me. You helped me without knowing who I was. That is very rare these days." Mina felt a warmth in her chest. "I didn't do it for anything in return. I just wanted to help," she said softly. Mrs. Anara smiled, clearly pleased. "And that is why I wanted to meet you. Mina, people like you are special. You have a kind heart, and your honesty and generosity are rare. I want to offer you an opportunity that could change your life." Mina looked at her with surprise. "An opportunity?" she asked. "Yes," Mrs. Anara replied. "I have a program for young students with good hearts. It provides education, guidance, and support so they can grow and help others. I want you to be part of it." Mina felt her eyes widen. She had never imagined that helping someone could lead to such an offer. Her life had always been simple. She had never dreamed of opportunities like this. Mrs. Anara continued. "I want to make sure you understand, Mina. This is not about money or rewards. It is about recognizing your kindness and giving you a chance to grow and make a difference. If you accept, it will not change who you are. You will still be the same Mina, helping people and living with your mother. But you will have support and guidance to achieve your dreams." Mina's heart raced. She looked at her mother, who nodded encouragingly. Layla could see the excitement and nervousness in her daughter's eyes. "Mina, this is a wonderful opportunity," she whispered. Mina took a deep breath. "I want to try." "Ma'am," she said softly. Mrs. Anara smiled, pleased with her answer. "Good. Tomorrow we will start with a visit to the program. I want you to see everything and meet others who are part of it. For now, just know that your kindness has opened a new door in your life." Mina left the office that day feeling a mixture of happiness, excitement, and nervousness. She could not stop thinking about the events of the last few days. Helping someone on the bus had led to meeting a billionaire who wanted to support her future. Mina realized that small acts of kindness could have bigger consequences than she had ever imagined. On the way home, she held her mother's hand tightly. "I can't believe this is happening, Mama. I never thought helping someone could change anything like this," she said. Layla smiled softly. "Mina, you see the value of good deeds. You helped because it was right, not for any reward. That is why good things are coming to you. Remember, kindness always finds its way back." Mina nodded thoughtfully. She felt proud and determined. She wanted to continue helping others, learning, and growing. She did not want to forget the simple lessons her mother had taught her about honesty, humility, and kindness. That night, Mina went to bed with a happy heart. She thought about the upcoming program and the new opportunities awaiting her. For the first time in her life, she felt that the world could be full of possibilities. She also knew that helping others, no matter how small the action, could change lives. Her small act of kindness on the bus had created a ripple that was now touching her life in ways she had never imagined. And in another part of the city, Mrs. Anara sat by her window, smiling as she thought about Mina. She knew that the young girl had the potential to do great things. She had seen many rich and powerful people, but few had hearts as pure as Mina's. She was certain that this meeting was only the beginning of something extraordinary. The next morning, Mina woke up with excitement bubbling in her chest. Today was the first day she would visit Mrs. Anara's program. She had spent the night imagining what it might be like. Would there be other children like her? Would she have to study in a fancy school? Most importantly, she wondered if she could truly make a difference. Her mother, Layla, was already awake, preparing breakfast. The small kitchen smelled of warm bread and honey. "Mina, eat well today," she said gently. "You have a big day ahead." Mina nodded, smiling. "Yes, Mama, I am ready. I just hope I can do everything well." After breakfast, Mina carefully packed her small bag. She included her notebook, pencils, and a few books she loved. Layla held her hand as they left the house. "Remember, Mina, just be yourself. Your kindness and honesty have brought you here. That is what matters most." Mina nodded, feeling a mixture of nervousness and excitement. The journey to Mrs. Anara's office felt longer than usual. The streets were busy with people, cars, and buses, but Mina hardly noticed. Her mind was filled with thoughts about what awaited her. When they arrived at the tall, polished building, a friendly assistant greeted them again and led Mina and her mother to Mrs. Anara's office. The office looked even more beautiful than Mina remembered. Sunlight poured in through the tall windows, illuminating the rows of bookshelves and the soft, comfortable furniture. Mina's eyes widened in awe, but she tried to remain calm. Mrs. Anara stood as they entered. She greeted Mina with a warm smile. "Good morning, Mina. I am glad you are here today. I want to show you the program and introduce you to a few people who will help you learn and grow." Mina felt her heart race. She had never seen so many books, papers, and people in one place. Mrs. Anara led her to a large room filled with other children and young teenagers. Each one seemed busy with activities, reading, writing, and discussing ideas. Mina felt shy at first, but Mrs. Anara's calm presence helped her feel comfortable. "This is our learning center," Mrs. Anara explained. "Here, we focus on education, creativity, and helping others. Each of you has shown kindness or talent that deserves guidance and support. Mina, you will join us as a new member." One of the coordinators, a kind woman named Sarah, approached Mina. "Hello Mina, welcome. Don't worry. We will help you get used to everything. Take your time and enjoy learning." Mina nodded and followed Sarah to a small desk near the window. She took a seat and opened her notebook. The sunlight warmed her face, and she felt a sense of peace. Around her, other children smiled and waved. Some were drawing, others were reading, and a few were discussing projects quietly. Mina realized that this was a place where she could learn not only from books, but also from other people. The morning began with simple exercises. Sarah encouraged each child to talk about themselves, their experiences, and what they enjoyed doing. When it was Mina's turn, she spoke softly about her mother, their small home, and the joy she felt helping others. She mentioned the day she helped the old lady on the bus. The room fell silent for a moment, and then everyone smiled. "That is wonderful, Mina," Sarah said. "You did something very important without expecting anything in return. That is a rare quality." Mina felt proud but also humble. She had not thought of her actions as extraordinary. To her, helping someone was simply the right thing to do. But hearing others appreciate her kindness made her feel that her small actions could indeed make a difference. After introductions, the children were divided into groups for different activities. Mina was assigned to a group focused on community service and learning projects. Her first task was to think of ways to help people in her neighborhood. She felt excited. She thought about her neighbors, the children who could not afford books, and the elderly who struggled with daily tasks. "I want to start small," Mina said to her group. "Maybe we can help elderly people carry groceries or clean their homes. We could also organize story reading sessions for younger children who cannot go to school every day." Her group members nodded in agreement. They wrote down ideas and planned a few small projects. Mina's heart swelled with joy. For the first time, she felt that her dreams and her desire to help others could become real and practical. The afternoon was filled with learning activities. Mina was introduced to subjects she had never studied before, like public speaking, teamwork, and leadership. She learned how to communicate ideas clearly, solve problems, and support others in need. Although it was challenging, Mina enjoyed every moment. She realized that learning was not just about reading books but also about understanding people, helping them, and working together. During a short break, Mina went to the window and looked outside. She saw children playing in the streets, vendors selling fruits, and women carrying baskets of vegetables. She thought about her mother and their small home. Suddenly she understood that the knowledge she was gaining here could help her not only grow personally but also help her community. Mrs. Anara visited the center in the afternoon. She observed Mina quietly from a distance. She saw how Mina interacted with the other children, listened carefully, and offered thoughtful suggestions. Mrs. Anara smiled. She knew Mina had the potential to become someone who could bring positive change to the world. When the program ended for the day, Mina felt tired but happy. She had learned so much and met so many people who were kind, helpful, and supportive. Sarah came to her and said, "Mina, you did very well today. Keep being kind and curious. That is what will make you special." Mina thanked her, feeling proud. She and her mother walked home slowly, talking about everything she had learned. Layla noticed that Mina was more confident and thoughtful. "I can see that you have grown today, Mina," she said warmly. Mina smiled. "Mama, I feel like I can really help people now. I learned so many new things, and I met friends who also want to make a difference." That evening, Mina wrote in her notebook about the day. She wrote down the ideas for helping her neighborhood, the lessons she learned about teamwork, and the importance of kindness. She realized that knowledge combined with a good heart could create amazing opportunities. Before going to bed, Mina thought about Mrs. Anara. She wondered why someone so wealthy would care about helping ordinary children. Then she remembered what Sarah had said. Kindness and talent are rare. They deserve guidance and support. Mina smiled and felt determined. She wanted to continue learning, helping others, and becoming a better person each day. That night, Mina dreamed of helping her neighbors, reading stories to children, and assisting elderly people in their daily lives. She imagined herself using the lessons she had learned at the program to create small but meaningful changes in her town. Each dream made her heart feel lighter and stronger across the city. Mrs. Anara sat by her window, watching the lights of the town twinkle below. She thought about Mina and her potential. She knew that the young girl's life was about to change, but she also knew that Mina's heart would remain humble and kind. That was the most important quality, more valuable than any wealth or opportunity. Mrs. Anara whispered to herself, "This is only the beginning. Mina will do great things. She will show that true kindness can shine brighter than anything else." Mina's journey had only just begun. The program was more than just learning. It was about growth, responsibility, and making a difference. Mina realized that even though life was simple, her actions could create a ripple of goodness. She felt grateful, inspired, and ready to face the challenges ahead. The days that followed were filled with learning, teamwork, and planning community projects. Mina worked hard, always keeping her kind heart as her guide. She knew that the small act of kindness she had done on the bus had opened a door to a world full of possibilities, lessons, and new friends, and she was determined to walk through it with honesty, courage, and a desire to help others. The following weeks were a busy and exciting time for Mina. She continued attending Mrs. Anara's program every day after school. Each day brought new lessons, new friends, and new opportunities to grow. Mina learned about teamwork, planning, and creativity. But most importantly, she learned how small acts of kindness could have a large impact on the people around her. One afternoon, Mrs. Anara called Mina to her office. Mina's heart raced as she walked into the spacious, sunlit room. She had grown used to the elegant surroundings, but every time she entered, she still felt a little awe. Mrs. Anara greeted her with a warm smile. "Mina," she said, "I have noticed how hard you have been working and how genuinely you care about others. I want to give you a chance to make an even bigger difference. Are you ready?" Mina nodded quickly. "Yes, ma'am, I am ready." Mrs. Anara explained that she wanted Mina to lead a small project in her neighborhood. The goal was to help families who struggled with daily chores or lacked access to educational resources. Mina's task was to organize a group of volunteers, plan activities, and ensure that everyone received support. Mrs. Anara said she would provide guidance and some resources, but Mina's ideas and effort would drive the project. Mina felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Leading a project was something she had never done before. She knew it would be challenging, but she also knew that this was an opportunity to help many people, just like she had helped Mrs. Anara on the bus stop the next day. Mina started planning. She visited her neighbors, spoke to children, and asked her friends from the program if they wanted to help. Many were eager to join, inspired by Mina's determination and kindness. Together, they made a list of families who needed assistance and planned ways to provide support. The first activity was simple but meaningful. Mina and her volunteers helped elderly neighbors with grocery shopping and household chores. They cleaned floors, washed clothes, and even prepared small meals for those who struggled to cook. Mina felt a deep sense of satisfaction seeing the smiles on the faces of the people they helped. Each act of kindness seemed to bring more happiness than she had ever imagined. The children from the program also organized story sessions for younger kids in the neighborhood. Mina read stories aloud, just as she had once enjoyed in the library. The children listened with wide eyes, laughing and asking questions. Mina realized that even small actions, like sharing a story or helping with chores, could create joy and inspire others. Mrs. Anara visited the neighborhood one afternoon to see the project in action. She watched Mina and her team work with the children, talk to neighbors, and organize activities. Mrs. Anara's eyes shone with pride. She could see that Mina's leadership and kind heart were bringing real change to the community. "Mina," Mrs. Anara said, smiling, "you were doing exactly what I hoped you would. Your actions show that true leadership comes from kindness and care. Keep going. You are making a difference." Mina blushed but felt motivated. She worked even harder, thinking about all the families and children who relied on their help. She realized that her small act on the bus had started a chain of events that could change many lives at home. Layla noticed the changes in Mina. Her daughter was more confident, thoughtful, and responsible. Mina shared stories about her day, the families they helped, and the lessons she learned from leading a team. Layla was proud of her daughter's growth but also reminded her to stay humble and kind. "You are doing wonderful things, Mina," Layla said. "But remember, it is your heart that makes you special, not the praise or attention. Always keep helping because it is the right thing to do." Mina nodded. She promised herself that she would never let the challenges or recognition change her heart. She wanted to continue helping people, learning, and growing, just as Mrs. Anara had taught her. One morning, while Mina was organizing volunteers for a new project, she noticed a boy named Amir struggling to carry a heavy basket. Without hesitation, she ran to help him. Amir looked surprised and grateful. Mina realized that helping others could happen at any moment, not just in planned activities. It was about noticing when someone needed support and being willing to act. As the weeks passed, Mina's reputation in the community grew. People began to recognize her as the girl with a kind heart who helped others without asking for anything in return. Children from her neighborhood joined her projects eagerly, inspired by her dedication. Even adults started trusting her guidance, seeing that her intentions were genuine and thoughtful. One afternoon, Mrs. Anara invited Mina to a meeting. This time, she introduced her to an opportunity that was even bigger. She explained that Mina could attend a special educational workshop in the city, where she would meet experts, learn new skills, and gain knowledge that could help her expand her projects even further. Mina felt both nervous and excited. Traveling to the city alone and meeting strangers was a challenge, but she trusted Mrs. Anara and knew that this could be a chance to make an even bigger impact. Mrs. Anara assured her that she would be supported every step of the way. Before the workshop, Mina spent time planning and preparing. She gathered reports of her neighborhood projects, ideas for future activities, and notes about what she hoped to learn. She wanted to make the most of this opportunity, not for recognition, but to better serve the people she cared about. The day of the workshop arrived. Mina traveled with a small team of volunteers and program coordinators. She was nervous at first, but as she entered the large hall filled with children and young leaders, she felt inspired. Everyone was there for the same reason: to learn, to grow, and to help others. Mina listened carefully to the speakers, asked thoughtful questions, and participated in group activities. She learned about organizing events, managing resources, and communicating effectively. She also learned about empathy, understanding others' perspectives, and encouraging teamwork. Every lesson strengthened her belief that kindness combined with action could create meaningful change. During a break, Mina spoke to some of the other participants. She shared her experiences helping her neighbors and leading small projects. They were amazed that a young girl had done so much already. Mina felt proud, but also reminded herself that the true reward was the happiness she saw in the people she helped at the end of the workshop. Mrs. Anara joined Mina and praised her efforts. "Mina, you have learned so much and shown incredible dedication. I am proud of you. But remember, learning and helping never end. Keep your heart kind, your mind curious, and you will continue to create positive change everywhere you go." Mina nodded, feeling determined. She understood that her journey was just beginning. She returned home that evening with a mind full of ideas and a heart full of hope. She shared everything she had learned with her mother and the other volunteers. Together, they planned new projects for the neighborhood. Inspired by the lessons from the workshop, life in the neighborhood began to change slowly but surely. Families received help. Children had more opportunities to learn, and Mina's projects became a source of inspiration for others. People started noticing that even small acts, when done with care and dedication, could create a ripple effect that touched many lives. Mina felt proud, but she also remained humble. She remembered what her mother always told her: it was the heart behind the action that mattered most. She continued helping, learning, and leading, knowing that each small step could grow into something extraordinary. One quiet evening, Mina looked out of her small bedroom window at the town below. She thought about how far she had come in just a few weeks. From helping an old lady on the bus to leading projects and attending a workshop, her life had changed in ways she could never have imagined. She felt grateful for every lesson, every opportunity, and every person who had supported her. Mina whispered softly to herself, "I will keep helping, I will keep learning, and I will never forget that kindness can change everything." Across the city, Mrs. Anara watched the sunset from her home. She thought about Mina's progress and felt proud. She knew that the young girl's journey was only beginning, and that her heart, honesty, and determination would lead her to achieve even greater things. Mina's story was no longer just about one small act of kindness. It had become a journey of learning, growth, and positive change, and she was ready to continue walking that path, one kind act at a time. Mina had grown more confident over the weeks. She had learned new skills, met other children who shared her dreams, and led several projects in her neighborhood. She had become a symbol of kindness and dedication, and people in the town had started recognizing her as someone who brought hope and joy to their lives. One bright morning, Mrs. Anara called Mina to her office again. Mina's heart raced with excitement as she walked into the familiar room. Sunlight streamed through the large windows, illuminating the elegant furniture and shelves full of books. Mrs. Anara was sitting behind her desk, smiling warmly. "Mina," she said, "I have been watching your progress closely. You have done wonderfully, helping so many people and inspiring others. But today, I want to offer you something even more special." Mina looked at her, curiosity shining in her eyes. "Special? What is it, ma'am?" Mrs. Anara leaned forward. "I want to give you the chance to continue your education in a place that will provide the best learning opportunities, not just in books, but in life skills, leadership, and community service. I want to make sure you have everything you need to grow and make an even bigger difference in the world." Mina's eyes widened. She had never imagined that her small acts of kindness could lead to such an opportunity. Her mind raced with thoughts about how this could change her life, and also her mother's life. I would be honored, ma'am," she said softly. Mrs. Anara smiled. "Good. This is just the beginning. You will learn many things, meet new people, and continue to inspire others. Remember, your heart is your greatest strength. Never lose it." The following week, Mina and her mother visited the new educational center. It was a large, welcoming place with classrooms, activity halls, and a library filled with thousands of books. Mina's eyes sparkled as she walked through the halls, imagining all the knowledge and skills she would gain here. The program was designed to teach children how to lead with kindness, solve problems creatively, and think critically. Mina participated in lessons about community development, storytelling, and leadership. She also attended workshops where she learned how to organize events, communicate effectively, and inspire others. Each day was full of new experiences, and Mina absorbed everything with enthusiasm. Back in her neighborhood, Mina continued her projects. With the new knowledge she gained, she started organizing bigger events for children and families. She planned storytelling sessions, educational games, and workshops for the elderly on simple life skills. Her team of volunteers grew, as more children and young people wanted to join her mission. One day, while Mina was helping a young boy read, she noticed a small group of people from the town watching her. They were curious about how a young girl could manage such projects so well. Mina smiled at them and invited them to join. Soon, the community became more involved, and everyone started helping each other more actively. The ripple effect of Mina's kindness was spreading far and wide. Mrs. Anara visited the neighborhood again to see Mina's progress. She watched as Mina guided children in reading activities, helped families organize their homes, and led volunteers in small community projects. Mrs. Anara's heart swelled with pride. She could see that Mina was not only learning but also using her knowledge to create real change. Mina, Mrs. Anara said later, you have done something very special. You have inspired others, and your work has brought hope to many people. I am proud of you. Mina blushed but felt happy. Thank you, ma'am. I only wanted to help, she said. Helping is never small, Mrs. Anara replied. Every act of kindness matters, and you have proven that one person can make a big difference. One afternoon, Mina returned home to find a letter from Mrs. Anara. The letter invited her and her mother to a special gathering at Mrs. Anara's residence. Curious and excited, Mina and Layla prepared carefully for the visit. They wore neat clothes, and Mina made sure her hair was tidy when they arrived at Mrs. Anara's house. They were amazed by the beauty of the place. The gardens were filled with colorful flowers, fountains, and trees that provided shade. Inside, the rooms were elegant, filled with art, books, and sunlight. But Mina felt no fear. She felt a warm welcome. Mrs. Anara greeted them with her usual gentle smile. Mina, Layla, welcome. Today, I want to celebrate the kindness, hard work, and dedication that Mina has shown. It is time for a special surprise. Mina and her mother looked at her with curiosity. Mrs. Anara guided them to a room filled with people. There were children from Mina's program, volunteers, and some important guests who had supported the community projects. Everyone smiled warmly at Mina and Layla. Mina, Mrs. Anara said, you have done more than anyone expected. Your heart, honesty, and dedication have changed lives. To honor your efforts, I want to provide something that will help you and your family for the future. Mina's eyes widened. For me and my family? She asked softly. Mrs. Anara nodded. Yes, Mina, I want to offer you a scholarship that covers your education completely. You will have access to the best schools, programs, and learning opportunities. And for your mother, I want to support her as well, so she can live comfortably without worries. Tears filled Mina's eyes. She had never imagined such generosity. Her small act of kindness on the bus had brought her not only opportunities to grow but also security and happiness for her family. Ma'am, Mina whispered, I don't know what to say. Thank you. I will never forget this. Mrs. Anara smiled warmly. You don't need to say anything, Mina. Your actions spoke louder than words. You showed kindness without expecting anything in return. That is why you are here today. The gathering continued with celebrations, stories, and smiles. Children from Mina's program shared how much they had learned and how Mina had inspired them. Families from the neighborhood expressed gratitude for the help and projects that had made their lives easier. Mina felt proud but remained humble, knowing that her work was just beginning. As the day ended, Mina and her mother walked through the beautiful gardens. Layla held her daughter's hand tightly. Mina, I am so proud of you, she said softly. Your heart has brought so much happiness, not just to our lives, but to so many others. Never forget who you are. Mina smiled, feeling her heart full of warmth. Mama, I will keep helping people. I want to continue learning and making a difference, just like Mrs. Anara taught me. That night, Mina wrote in her notebook. She wrote about the celebration, the opportunities ahead, and the people she wanted to help. She knew that her journey was far from over. There were still many children to teach, families to support, and kindness to share. But she also knew that every small act mattered, and that her heart would always guide her. Days turned into weeks, and Mina continued her work with the same dedication and humility. She excelled in her studies, led projects in her neighborhood, and inspired children and adults alike. Her story became well known in her town as a young girl who had transformed her community with kindness, courage, and leadership. Mrs. Anara continued to support Mina, offering guidance and encouragement, but always allowing her to grow independently. She knew that Mina's journey was one of true character and determination, and she trusted that Mina would continue to shine. One quiet evening, Mina looked out of her window at the town below. She saw children playing, neighbors helping each other, and families smiling. She realized that her small act of paying bus fare for an old lady had created ripples of kindness that extended far beyond what she had imagined. Mina whispered softly to herself, kindness can change everything. It started with me, but now it touches so many people. I will keep going, learning, and helping, and I will never stop. Across the city, Mrs. Anara watched the sunset from her elegant home. She thought about Mina and smiled. This is only the beginning, she whispered. One kind heart can create endless good in the world. Mina is proof of that. Mina's life had changed in ways she could never have dreamed. But more importantly, She had learned that true happiness and success came not from wealth or rewards, but from a heart that cared for others, and from actions that brought joy and hope to those in need. Her story was a reminder to everyone that even the smallest act of kindness could grow into something extraordinary. And so, Mina's journey continued, filled with learning, growth, and endless opportunities to share her heart with the world. She had proven that a kind heart, courage, and determination could truly change lives, including her own, and she would continue to do so for years to come.